I'm a huge fan of products that are derived from nature, like natural ingredients and not one.
I understand he has sensitive skin, but by God, water is a chemical. Dihydrogen monoxide sounds terrifying until you realize that it's water, the universal solvent in skincare. Today we are reacting to Taylor Zakhar Perez's 9-step nighttime skincare routine. I've heard comments from you saying that you sometimes read this as nightmare skincare routine, and today that is what I read his routine as. I don't know who he is, but I'm excited to find out. And if you don't know who I am, hello! My name is Cassandra Bankson. I'm an expert and I've been in the industry for over 10 years, and I've suffered with acne for over 15. I'm a medical esthetician, and although I've worked alongside and with both doctors and dermatologists, I am not a physician myself. That being said, I love analyzing, scrutinizing, and learning from other people's skincare routines, and that's what we're gonna do here today. And so now, we are press play.
For me, skincare has always been a top priority. I modeled for 15 years, I've been acting for 10, and you just have to always make sure that you have a clear complexion. So I was super lucky because my mom is an esthetician, so she taught us all the things to do to take care of our face.
Wow, so model and actor. He mentioned something about having to have clear skin. Ooh, I was in the modeling industry, and I will admit my skin did hamper me at times. I found ways to cover it up and to make sure that people couldn't see my acne and blemishes, but it also meant that I could never go to even a casting call or even to a photo shoot without already applying my foundation as my base. Photoshop did help me along the way, but if the industry knew about my skin back when I was first starting, there was no way I ever would have made it to New York Fashion Week. And I was delusional. I told myself that the industry wasn't judgmental, but it wasn't until I kind of stepped back and stepped out of it that I saw how bad it was. And I didn't even receive the brunt of it, but that's a topic for another day. Skincare is no replacement for genetics and lifestyle. Please keep that in mind, which is why you can never compare yourselves to other people online, just because you don't know what happens behind the scenes, and you also don't know about the filters and the Photoshop, which, yes, we're gonna talk about a little bit later. I'll actually show you, but that's besides the point. Let's see what products he actually puts on his face. Speaking of modeling, my cat is a model. My cat models hats, all sorts of hats, sombrero hats, Navy sailor hats, and yes, even ad hats. This video is in partial partnership with one of my favorite brands on the internet, Skillshare. They're an online learning platform that basically teaches how to do creative things online. I think of it as like a Netflix meets a university. It's organized kind of like YouTube videos, and it's actually taught by people like other YouTube creators, but it's organized almost like an online university, so it's easy to walk through and to actually go through a tutorial and apply these things in your own life. Recently, I've been watching Jessica K. She's actually a YouTuber here who reacts to a bunch of America's Next Top Model videos. I love her videos so much, and when I saw that she had a Skillshare course on photography and Photoshop, I had to watch it. She talks about street photography and even tricks that you can do with a camera lens, as well as with Photoshop to make people look taller. I know that Taylor Zakhar seems to be a model, and I can guarantee you that I see some of the tricks that Jessica talks about in this photography and editing course on his Instagram. If you're looking to level up your photo game, your editing game, your Instagram game, or basically anything else that has to do with business, web design, and creative works, I would highly recommend Skillshare. I've been learning and watching them for over a year now, and as you know, the first 1,000 butterflies to click that link actually get a free trial to use Skillshare Premium for free. You get access to all of the courses on my behalf, and if you do want to remain a member after that period ends, it's only $10 a month. That is less than I pay for my internet service and for 1 cup of overpriced mermaid coffee. Click that link right now just to see if you are one of the first 1,000 people to click it. And if you do start watching courses, let me know which one is your favorite. You know that I love learning new things, especially from other people, which is why I love Skillshare and why I love these reaction videos, because we can learn from other people's skincare routines. Which, speaking of, let's get back to that.
So today I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 products that I'll be sharing with you. People tell me my skin type is different every time I go somewhere, but I know that I have combination skin and that's how I buy all my products.
Did you know that skin types are actually a lie? There is no medically accredited or standard defined skin types. There are things like the Fitzpatrick scale that are used in dermatology to look at how prone someone is to pigmentation or how reactive they are to certain treatments or sun exposure. However, skin types in actual medical dermatology really don't exist. Skin types were originally created by the cosmetic and consumer industry to help people make choices that are better for their faces. If someone does have skin that lacks oil and is dry, that is going to need something different than a skin type that is more oily, that has more active sebaceous glands and, overproduces oil. He states that he has combination skin. This usually refers to an oily T-zone and maybe a little bit dry around here, but it could also mean dryness in this area and a little bit more oily around here. And that can change based on the weather, based on what you're eating, based on your hormone levels, etc. So it's not to say that these skin types are a bad thing. They really do help us identify kind of what consumers need, especially because skin is so complex and these terms help us break it down. But if somebody tells you that you have like an exacerbated oily frontal area with like blackhead prone nose and like scaly cheeks with hormonal acne, and you have to buy this set of 53 products in order to get good normal skin, you look at them and you say, what is normal? Don't diagnose me unless you have the credentials to do so, and walk away and give your wallet a pat on the back. I've gone into depth about different skin types and the way that I like to categorize them. Everything is really on a spectrum. There is oily, there is dry. And then you can have specific conditions such as wrinkling or acne. But acne or wrinkling is not a skin type, it's a condition of the skin. Or with acne, it's actually a state or a disease state of the skin. Which, remember, acne is normal. Don't shame yourself for having it. Skin conditions are normal, but if they cause disorder in your life, literal disorder, or if they are atypical, not typical, you have every right to get those checked out and to do what you need to actually feel comfortable in your skin and present yourself to the world in the way that you want to.
All right, first, I am going to brush my teeth. I use Colgate Optic White. I drink a lot of tea, so my teeth stain really easily, and I brush my teeth with an electric toothbrush, always have. So I'm just gonna bore you to death with some toothbrushing.
Fun fact, did you know that electric toothbrushes actually give off radiation? It's not that bad, don't worry about it. Hair dryers do the same thing, but if you wanted something else to freak out about, there you go. Speaking of drinking tea, I do drink coffee. A lot of people don't realize that yes, your oral health also plays into the health of the rest of your body. People who have gingivitis, or this inflammation of the gingiva in the mouth, are actually, I think on average, expected to live 7 years less. Is that the correct? I want to make sure that I'm actually quoting the study properly, but yeah, fun fact, floss your teeth, kids. This is also me pointing to myself. Floss your teeth, Cassandra. That's my weak point. That's like my 1 week habit.
Next up, let's start the face routine. I use Total Cleansing Oil by Clarins. I love it because it has all these natural ingredients in it and it doesn't irritate my face. So the best thing about it for me is that before I hop in the shower usually, if I have, like a lot of SPF on my face from the day, I'm able to just pop this on, kind of walk around for a few minutes, and it just lifts everything off my face.
SPF is your BFF. I love that he wears sunscreen, and yes, a cleansing oil is one of the best ways to break down oil, makeup, sunscreen, etc., dirt that is on the face. This Clarins oil is a little bit expensive for what it is. Clarins is like a luxury line, and they do have a vegan version and cruelty-free version of their line, but the regular one is not vegan or cruelty-free, which matters to me. Most of their products are like 60 to like 120 bucks, but some of their products like this one are not overpriced, at least not horribly. This is $35 and it does have some good ingredients, but when we do check it out, the main ingredient is sunflower seed oil. This is super cheap and dermatologists agree with me, but you could literally use coconut oil, you could use cooking oil, you could use olive oil. It feels gross on the skin, but if you're just using it to break down and remove your makeup, and if you use a second cleanser afterwards, it is totally fine to do. So it depends on how much of a budget you're on, and also it depends on, how sensorial you like your skincare routine to be. He mentions that this has a lot of natural stuff. It looks like we have apricot, we have rosemary, we do have some kind of plant extracts that probably give it a good scent as well as perfume or fragrance in it. I don't hate fragrance and I don't hate this product. I just, for myself, could get some sunflower oil from like Trader Joe's and it would be cruelty free and be like $6, not $35. And that's what I would personally do, but that's because her pores be different. As an actor/model, I'm sure he has the money to spend on this. I'm glad that it lifts everything off his face, and I am glad he is wearing sunscreen. This is really refreshing to hear, and I'm sure it feels refreshing as well.
Alright, next, I shave at night. Because I have pretty sensitive skin, and I usually get some kind of like razor burn under here, and I'm not the best shaver, so I'll like sometimes cut myself. So I use this Malin+Goetz vitamin E shaving cream. You know, like growing up, your dad gives you that like in the can, put it on your face, and you can't see your skin, and then like you get your sideburn, and your one sideburn's up here, and the other one's down here, and then you're like, oh my god. So the thing I love about this one is that it's see-through. You know, just vitamin E helps give like a glide, I guess, you know, to the razor, and it doesn't clog it.
Vitamin E is an oil, so it does that. I remember watching my dad shave and seeing, you know, this big whipped cream in a can type thing. But yes, Cassandra did once shave off her sideburns, and yes, she was teased horrifically at school. And that wasn't the only reason she was teased. Like, there were many reasons that she was teased. Acne was among them. You should never bully someone for their appearance. You should never bully people, period. But yeah, we can talk about that another day.
So it's like lotion, right? It goes pretty easily. But I'm a huge fan of products that are derived from nature, you know, like natural ingredients, and not one.
I understand he has sensitive skin, but by God, water is a chemical. Dihydrogen monoxide sounds terrifying until you realize that it's water, the universal solvent in skincare. I used to want natural products. In aesthetics school, it was drilled into our brains, and it isn't until you learn chemistry, you learn about the skin's biology and anatomy and biochem and how these things work, that you're like, okay, we can't demonize chemicals because it does the general population a disservice. And marketers do this to try to push their natural products down our throat, but guess what else is natural? Lead, arsenic, cyanide, formaldehyde. All of these things are extraordinarily toxic, and they're natural. There's formaldehyde in pears. And you know what? Parabens, everyone's afraid of parabens. First off, they stop products from growing microorganisms that can be harmful to skin. They're actually in foods. So are you avoiding parabens in your foods? Parabens are in clothes. Are people looking for parabens in their clothes? And because of the fear around parabens, they are some of the most well-studied and well-researched, and they are relatively safe. Do we need more studies on using parabens in multiple products and higher concentrations and how they absorb and interact in the body? Sure, but no, parabens are not giving people cancer, and if you're avoiding chemicals so you can use these all-natural things, you need to know that some of the all-natural ingredients can have worse side effects and do even more harm to the skin, especially essential oils that go out in the sun. You could get blisters and burns, and there are so many things along this exact same train of thought that I could just drive us off a cliff with. But to spare all of our lives and to avoid that raging dumpster fire of a conversation, let's continue watching this man shave his face and talk about why, yes, shaving at night is actually a great idea for anyone who shaves their face.
I'll start with the bottom first. Neck up. I think my dad told me that. It also has this like tingly feeling, which I also like. You know what? Who taught me how to shave? I don't think it was my dad. And I don't think my dad taught me how to tie a tie either. I think I was too embarrassed to ask him. I just went online, and this is when YouTube was first coming up. I think I just used to watch my dad shave and pretend to shave in my bathroom, so then I was like, I know how to shave. Yeah. Alright, are these even? I do the hair person thing. Yeah, that looks even enough to me.
He mentioned shaving at night. This is actually a great idea. What most people don't realize is that shaving is a daily form of exfoliation. Yes, that razor, that shaving is exfoliation. And especially if you do that in the morning, you need to be wearing a sunscreen, which sounds like he is. But that is removing the top layers of your skin and some of that hair and exposing it to the sun. And some people wonder, you know, like, wow, men after they're freshly shaved, like the face is so much smoother than even, you know, another person's face. Like, why is that? It's literally because that is daily exfoliation, and then some of these creams do have moisturizing properties. And there are certain male or male presenting people out there who say, oh, I don't want to use skincare, like that's too feminine, that's too girly. No, it is not. It is hygiene. And if you shave your face, you are using skincare, exfoliating and moisturizing, and they might not even know it. I love that he does this at night. Whoever it was who taught him, mom, dad, friend, YouTube, it's working. While we're here, can you please shave that like button? It is growing a beard and it needs a little bit of help. The subscribe button does too. And if you like learning about skincare, getting educated, dissecting and analyzing people's routines, ingredient lists, and the biology of your beauty, then tell the almighty YouTube algorithm by shaving the like button. Oh yes, no razor burn, no nicks, no shaving cuts. Now that is how we do it, babies.
All right, so next, toner. I love Clarins Soothing Toner. It's kind of gooey, right? It's not like water, like you'll find witch hazel or a lot of other companies have products that just kind of roll off of your hands. I just wipe it on my face like this. Wait for it to dry. Takes a second for it to all soak in.
This Clarins toner is like $42. And my question is, why? It is a hydrating toning lotion. He mentioned it's a little bit more gelatinous. When we look at the ingredients, we can see why. This has water, this has aloe, which presumably has removed the latex or has been formulated properly. It has propanediol, which really gives it some of that feeling, and then also glycerin, which is extraordinarily hydrating. Simultaneously, all of these ingredients are very inexpensive. I'm like, Clarins, like, why are we paying so much for a brand name, especially from this brand? But that's okay. You can choose to spend your money however you want to. I just want to make sure that you know what you're actually spending your money on. He mentioned he has sensitive skin, and there are ingredients that in here I would not recommend personally for sensitive skin. We have fragrance. It does have alcohol, which I'm surprised is not stinging his face, and geraniol. Like, there's stuff in here that I do not hate in skincare, but I would not recommend for sensitive skin. So my question is, how is this not exacerbating your sensitive skin? There is kelp in here, which we love. I think that, along with like the glycerin, propanediol, and like water and aloe, is the best ingredient in here. I know that they're saying that the fig can be hydrating and soothing, but I would argue that it could cause irritation for some. Have you ever eaten figs and like your mouth almost feels like it's burning off? Figs have latex. It's different than aloe latex, but it is similar. And figs actually have enzymes in them which are exfoliating and, yes, can break down the literal inside of your mouth as well as your skin. So keep in mind that, again, just because plants are natural doesn't mean that they're non-irritating, and it doesn't always mean that they're better.
Next is the night cream. So I use Clarins Extra Firming Night Cream. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
And this helps with fine lines and wrinkles, and for me, it's like more preventative. So I like this stuff. It's thick, but in a good way. You know, it stays on at night. And over the years, I've changed my moisturizers, and I've landed on this one and just really dig it. You know, it's like I feel, especially if I'm putting a lot of stuff on my face and wearing a lot of SPF, just kind of rehydrates it overnight and makes me feel better in the morning. Big fan.
That's the most important thing. It's feeling good about your routine. He is going a bit aggressive with these facial hand movements. It looks like it's not irritating his skin, so that's fine. But if you have super sensitive skin, if your skin is prone to breaking and tearing, if you do have eczema, psoriasis, other skin conditions, or just open razor burns, then I wouldn't recommend that. But if it works for him, it works for him. I mean, I've been known to be aggressive with my face as well. And so far, I mean, been able to get the acne under control. I still have some scars, but like, it's turning out all right for me. This is the Clarins Extra Firming, not just firming, extra firming, wrinkle control, regenerating night cream for all skin types for only 94 doll hairs. This is kind of getting into the luxury area. Anything above 100 I consider luxury. Clarins is more like prestige. I haven't looked into this before, but like, tell me why I should part with 94 doll hairs of my money. We have water, caprylic triglyceride, shea butter. We love shea butter, and this is all really good stuff, but where are the ingredients that makes this so expensive? It's basically shea butter, and I'm sure that they are trying to claim that some of these extracts and plant ingredients have like magical restorative properties. I just don't understand why this is worth so much. If you want to show me a study or a patent, I'm more likely to look into it. It does look like they have some research that was N104, so it's a decent study in the skincare world. 91% said skin looked visibly regenerated, but what does that mean? I just don't see why they're charging so much for this. Now, it does say that the product is like fair trade certified, sourced through green biotechnology. The sad truth is that that costs a lot more to do, sadly, and that is maybe why we're seeing a higher price point here. It is so sad, but yes, even recycled boxes and recycled paper costs more than non-recycled paper, so that is sad, but I mean, I guess I could see that playing into this price a little bit more. Still, simultaneously with these claims, if you have shea butter, if you have a good moisturizing base, you're gonna see these claims no matter what. Get yourself a retin-A, retinaldehyde, or even retinol serum, and get yourself a good SPF, and that will give you more wrinkle control and regeneration than this product will, as backed by science. But it's not getting near my wallet anytime soon, and at the end of the day, as long as he feels good slathering it on his face, fine. Just good. Enjoy.
Alright, back to Malin+Goetz. Their under eye cream is dope. So they have a couple under eye creams. I used to use their rice bran cream, but this one, I like this one. You know, sometimes you put stuff on your face and in like 4 hours it feels like it's gone, which I guess I'm sure it's doing its job, right? It's like soaking into your skin, doing its thing. But when I use this stuff and I use like a little bit extra at night and put it under my eyes, I wake up in the morning and I don't have, you know, these like dark spots, don't have like the, you know, like the line that goes here. It just kind of lifts everything out and hydrates it.
At least he's explaining which under eye condition he's trying to treat. I hate most eye creams because they are literally overpriced moisturizers in tiny little tubes, and the companies don't even tell you what they're treating. They're like, oh, it's gonna fix your under eyes. Okay, is it puffiness? Is it color? Is it wrinkles? Like, what are you fixing? So this has water, this has myristate, this has squalane, which is an oil, this has cocoa caprolate, this has glycerin, dimethicone, sunflower seed oil, grapeseed oil. It's basically a bunch of oils, and it's basically an overpriced thick moisturizer. Look, we have shea butter in here as well. There is anhydroxylitol and xylitol, which we don't always see, and those can help kind of, you know, draw water into the skin a little bit. There is hydrolyzed hyaluronic acid, but that could actually dry you out more if you don't have a really occlusive moisturizer that has a lot of water. There's some plant stuff in here. I do like the peptides, specifically tripeptide 5 is a good one, and then tripeptide 1 is a good one, and tripeptide 7 is a good one. But for the price that they're charging for $72, I bet you we could search around the website and we could find almost the exact same thing in a moisturizer, and you could literally put the moisturizer right here. Does look like it's vegetarian and cruelty free. This might be one of the eye creams that I would actually try. The thing is that I just don't understand why they're charging $72 for it. This eye cream, if I had extra money laying around, I might actually pay for this one. It does look like a thick one, but I'm also like, give me a peptide-rich moisturizer for $15 from the Inky list, and let me do my magic with that instead. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Now, this is kind of like the cherry on top product that I like to use in the winter, or if I'm just super dehydrated, or, you know, just if my skin is feeling kind of funky. It's a True Botanicals Moisture Lock Overnight Mask, okay? So this stuff, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like magic in a little jar. It doesn't feel like a mask, dries super nice, and doesn't feel like greasy, doesn't get on your pillow. Yeah.
This actually sounds really nice. I have never tried True Botanicals. I know that they are based here in the Bay Area. I know a lot of people like them. Dustin Portola is an amazing dermatologist from Iowa. He does a lot with skin education on TikTok, and he does a lot of skin cancer surgery. I know that he has told me about True Botanicals and he loves them. That is awesome, and yes, I might actually need to buy this. This one is $75, and I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit expensive, but it does look like they have tripeptide 29. They do state that this comes from seaweed, and there is clinical data behind it. Specifically, they say that it increases collagen synthesis by 400% after 48 hours. I would like to see the study that states that, but I know that this peptide is expensive. And I do like that they're not only cruelty-free and vegan, but they have certifications that prove they're cruelty-free and vegan. Boom, saved to skincare for my face.
See how you can rub it in and like, not greasy. And just kind of like the toner, you wait for it to dry a little bit to move on to the next thing. But I'm a huge fan of overnight masks. Areas on my face is a spot treatment. This is tea tree oil. As you can see, I have, a couple dots here. I think I have some right here. And I usually put it on my face just with my finger. I don't really use a Q-tip.
So, very visceral reaction to this. Number one, we love a spot treatment. Spot treatments do not control all acne because they aren't going all over the face, but they can help to spot treat if you get a pimple. Love spot treatments. And the reason I'm both happy and then like super anxious about the tea tree oil is because tea tree oil, yes, is antimicrobial and antibacterial. It's been shown it's not a replacement for antibiotics, but it is great. The thing is that you should never use it full strength on the skin. You need to dilute it, and I'm worried about his skin health because of this. You can get burns from tea tree oil. It is potent, and I don't recommend just putting it on your finger and putting it on your face. I do recommend diluting it in other oils. You do have to be careful. I would say 10 to 1 if you wanted to really mix that yourself. I mean, if it's not doing harm, okay, but like, there are many other spot treatments such as these that have salicylic acid, or a blend of ingredients such as sulfur, salicylic, and succinic acid that I love much more that are also non-drying to the skin. I would recommend some of these that are inexpensive and formulated for skin and acne as opposed to straight up tea tree, but I've diluted tea tree and put it on my face in the past. So just treat your skin with respect, my beautiful butterflies.
Make sure you don't get it in your eye or in your mouth or like under your nose. And then if I have like a pretty crazy problematic area, I've been using this Neutrogena on the spot treatment since I was a kid, and it always helps me. I can actually use it right now because I do have those 2 little spots. I'll just leave that on.
You know I have some feels about the Neutrogena line, but this on the spot treatment, although it's not cruelty free and I no longer purchase it, it was an intense drying spot treatment, and yes, it did work at an inexpensive price. I would personally recommend the Terminator 10 from Acne Free, which is cruelty free, and it is benzoyl peroxide to the face. It is super drying, but that is one that I do recommend over the Neutrogena one for the ethics and the animal cruelty, and I also think it's a better price.
And that's it. Thanks so much for checking out my nighttime skincare routine.
Thanks so much for walking us through it. Knowing that he uses a sunscreen in the day, I need to watch this, and I need to know if you use a sunscreen in the day or not. Make sure that like button is still shaved, and if that subscribe button is growing in afternoon shadow, help it with that. Make sure its sideburns are even. Always remember to be beautiful both inside and out, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.